You know, every restaurant is a buffet if you're willing to pay. Especially here in Las Vegas, the all-you-can-eat capital of the world. Hello friends, it's me, Shin, and I'm on a quest to vlog every restaurant on the Las Vegas Strip as well as downtown on Fremont Street. I'm 213 in, and this week for number 214 through 218, I'm coming to you from Caesar's Palace, where I'll be showing you all of the eateries inside their celebrity food hall. Really happy to have you along. I'll see you inside. All right, everyone, and here I am seated at the Celebrity Food Hall at Caesar's Palace. Now, this food hall is located right on the casino floor, next to the elevators to the parking structure. It's incredibly large, very hard to miss, with high ceilings, a lot of seating, and it's certainly packed here today. 5 different restaurants make out the Celebrity Food Hall at Caesar's. Chicken Guy from Guy Fieri, Bobby's Burgers from Bobby Flay, Buddy Velastro's Pizzeria, Tortazo by Chef Rick Bailey's, and Mukbar from Chef Esther Choi. There's also a Starbucks here in the food hall. However, I'm not really going to be doing coffee shops on the channel because, again, I'm really looking only for restaurants where you're going to be having breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So with that said, I'm going to be showing you all 5 of the eateries here today in this video. Kicking things off, I think I'm going to start with some chicken. We're going to go to Chicken Guy. Now, Chicken Guy is from celebrity chef Guy Fieri here at the Celebrity Food Hall. He's serving up chicken sandwiches and strips, coming in both original and hot. I guess on average for roughly $17. They also have several different sauces to choose from should you get your tenders. And today I decided to show you their bourbon brown sugar barbecue sandwich and hot tenders with both their donkey sauce and their chipotle ranch. Got an order of French fries here as well, and 2 fountain drinks that do come with free refills. And I am actually pretty hungry right now, so let's give this all a try. We're gonna kick off Chicken Guy with their bourbon chicken sandwich. And I am being joined by a buddy, so we slice this in half. And the closer I'm looking at this, I believe this is just the strip between the buns. Let's give it a try. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, a pretty decent sandwich. I'll start my discussion with the bun. It's been nicely toasted in the center, relatively airy, and a soft bread throughout. They've slathered a lot of butter on this bread. I almost want to say it's a little bit too much. The butter flavor in my bite was very prevalent. That said, I really like the textures at play here. While the chicken tender itself doesn't have the most crisp, there's a really nice crunch coming from some potato chips in here. The chicken does taste pretty good. It's well seasoned, although I will say a tad on the dry side. I do wish this was a little bit more moist. But that said, the more I'm tasting this, I will say the seasoning in the chicken is actually very, very good. A nice amount of vinegar in the slaw that they've used here, providing some tang, as well as a nice briny sour hit coming from some pickles. I really like their honey bourbon barbecue sauce. It's slightly smoky, but a nice sweetness to it. Not a super bold barbecue sauce. It really does let a lot of the seasoning and spices do the talking in the rest of the sandwich, but it does work as a nice accent flavor here. This is enjoyable. Yeah, a decent sandwich to start today. Next up, we're going to try the tenders. I got an order of 3 tenders here. You're able to get them in both original and hot. I got these in hot, and I also got 2 different sauces. I think I'm going to give the chipotle ranch a dip first. Let's give it a taste. Yeah, not bad. While I wouldn't say the crispiest tender, there certainly is some crunch to this. A little bit more of a cornstarch-like crunch. Texture-wise, it's certainly not bad. I do wish the chicken was a little bit more moist. You can tell it's becoming a little bit stringy and a tad on the dry side. But otherwise, it is nicely seasoned. The chicken itself is doing fine. This is the hot chicken tender, and I will say that there is a nice heat to it. A little bit of a creeper spice. Not too hot up front, but certainly some kick on the back end. A bit of a smoky cayenne at work here. I do like that. The chipotle ranch here is actually quite nice. It's creamy and thick, a little bit of heat to it, but more of a smoky and savory flavor. A well-seasoned sauce in general. I do like that. I wish these chicken tenders were a little bit more juicy, but I do like the seasoning blend on them. Next up, I'm going to try the other sauce that I got. This is their donkey sauce, and going into it, it looks like a garlic aioli, and I certainly love a good garlic aioli. Let's give it a try. Oh yeah, that's a good sauce. I actually really like this donkey sauce. Definitely based on a garlic aioli. It's very thick, very rich as well. And they're using a roasted garlic here, providing a little bit more of a milder flavor. And there's also just a hint of acidity in there. A little bit of lemon is providing a nice freshness. I actually really like the sauce a lot. Both the chipotle ranch as well as the donkey sauce are good, but I think the donkey sauce is my favorite between the 2. All right, everyone. Now the last bite I'm going to try here from Guy Fieri's Chicken Shop is going to be their French fries. Pretty good looking French fry here. I already like the color and the seasoning that I see. But does it taste good as it looks? Let's give it a try. unfortunately, I can't say I'm the biggest fan of those. I think these french fries are just okay. I was expecting a lot more, given what I was able to see visually. I'll start with the good. I do like the fry job on these fries. A nice crispy exterior, a relatively pillowy interior as well, so I certainly appreciate the cook. Unfortunately, I gotta say these fries are actually quite bland. While the seasoning blend has a lot of color, unfortunately, there's just not a lot of flavor. If I had to say that there's any flavor profile, I would say it leans ever so slightly smoky, but we're talking wisps of smoke. If you required a smoke signal to save your life, this would not be what you would be able to use. In general, I think it just needs more salt and pepper. Bland french fries just don't do it for me. I suppose they are actually pretty decent vessels for dipping into the sauces. However, on their own, I'd say they're pretty lackluster. All right, my friends, so that's everything I'm going to be showing you here from Chicken Guy. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up with my buddy, and then we're going to show you the next restaurant. Don't worry, I'll be right back. And welcome back, my friends. It's time to show you the second restaurant here at the Celebrity Food Hall at Caesar's Palace. And the second place I'm going to be showing you is Bobby's Burgers. Bobby's Burgers comes to you from Chef Bobby Flay. And I believe there's a handful of these throughout the strip, although I've never actually eaten at one. Burgers seem to average about $14, $15. And they have several different types of burgers here, although I believe the Crunch Burger is the signature. And so as my order is arriving, I've got a beef crunch burger here, cooked medium, with some sweet potato fries, and a veggie burger with their normal fries. I've dined at a couple of Chef Bobby Flay's restaurants here in Las Vegas, but never at his burger spot, so I'm interested to see what it's all about. Let's give it a try. We'll kick off this round with the Crunch Burger. This is the burger that Bobby's Burgers is known for. Looks like a pretty straightforward, simple burger. I asked for this prepared medium. It certainly looks cooked to temperature. Let's give it a try. Oh yeah, that's good. We're starting with the bun. Very soft potato bun here. Nicely toasted in the center. Very neutral in flavor. Relatively soft and airy. A pretty straightforward but effective burger bun. The burger patty is really good today. A perfect medium cook. It's juicy and it's been very well seasoned. There's actually a nice peppery kick to this. I love when burger patties emphasize black pepper. A nice amount of American cheese here provides salinity as well as a bit of a richness. And they're using a very savory Chipotle ranch style burger sauce that's giving a very nice accent taste to the bite. The potato chips I actually do like. In a similar way with the chicken sandwich before, it is providing a very nice crunch. I'm loving the texture play. You can definitely make out some of their flavors toward the end of the bite as well. A bit of a starchy flavor at that, but in general I would say it's very fleeting. The majority of the bite you're really able to appreciate the flavor of the beef. In general, this is a pretty solid burger. A perfectly fine burger that I like. Next up, the veggie burger. If you're a longtime viewer of the channel, you know that I like to vary my order to ensure that all my vegetarians and vegans can have something to look at. Let's see how it is. Yeah, not bad. I'd say this is a decent sandwich. It's using the same bun that we saw on the burger, and they also share the same American cheese, so that's working fine. But that's where the similarities end. In general, good produce here. A good fresh tomatoes providing some sweetness. The lettuce has a healthy crisp to it. That's all working fine. They're using something a little bit more akin to a Thousand Island burger sauce here, and I do think that works a little bit better given the veggie patty. All of those elements are fine. That ultimately brings the discussion to the veggie patty itself, which unfortunately I think is just okay. Now first the good. This does have a panko breadcrumb coating, delivering a bit of a crunch to the bite. That texture is actually quite nice, given how soft the rest of the burger is. Now that crunch is absolutely necessary because unfortunately the rest of the burger texture is quite mushy. It's a bit of a soft bean texture, a little bit more creamy than it is meaty, and unfortunately that's not making for the best mouthfeel. Very earthy in flavor, and sometimes it tastes wholly untransformed. It almost tastes like I'm eating a unseasoned grain. The other accenting flavors, especially from that sauce and the cheese, are certainly doing a lot of the heavy lifting. I think in general this veggie patty could use a little bit more of a robust seasoning blend, because unfortunately outside of some of those forward-facing earthy bean flavors, when you get to some of the more grainy portion, it really does taste quite bland, and that could use a little bit of work. Not the best veggie burger I've had, unfortunately. Next up, we'll go in on some sides, starting with the french fries. A very straightforward looking french fry here. I'm hoping this tastes good. Let's see how they are. Unfortunately, I can't say I'm the biggest fan of those. While I thought the fries from Chicken Guy could have been a lot better, I can't really say the fries from Bobby's Burgers are faring much better. I thought the fries at Chicken Guy had a much better texture, much crispier, much more pillowy on the inside. Bobby's fries, while equally crispy, are a bit dense on the inside. It's not significantly worse, but I do wish these were a little bit more on that pillowy end. Unfortunately, they share the similar critique that I had with the fries over from Chicken Guy, in that they're generally quite bland. These could use a heavy dash of salt and pepper. You're getting a pretty straightforward starchy potato flavor here, and I'm really hoping for a lot more. Not my favorite fries, unfortunately. Alright everyone, now the last bite to try from Bobby's Burgers today is gonna be their sweet potato fries. A really good looking sweet potato fry here, and at least visually I can see the seasoning on it, so I've got some high hopes. Let's see how it is. Oh yeah, that's good. These are wonderfully crispy on the outside, perfectly blistered, delivering a very satisfying crunch with just the most dreamy, pillowy center. This is the pinnacle when it comes to the texture for a sweet potato fry for me. My hat's off to the chef, I really commend the cook. These have been very well seasoned, simply but generously. Enough salt is able to liven up your taste buds to really appreciate the sweet potato flavor. A very nice natural sweetness at that. This is very, very good. Really enjoying those sweet potato fries, that's a good one. Alright everyone, so that's everything from Bobby's Burgers today. I'm gonna go and wrap this up and we'll do another restaurant. Don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. Alright everyone, now the next eatery I'm going to be showing you here at the Celebrity Food Hall of Caesar's Palace is going to be Buddy V's Pizza Shop. Buddy Velastro's Pizzeria is serving up pizza slices as well as whole pies, sandwiches, and other Italian favorites. And these are certainly looking to be some of the more expensive slices on the strip, clocking in at $12 a slice. Sandwiches all look to be about $17, and so probably one of the more pricey options here at the Celebrity Food Hall. I went in on their boss slice, which is their all-meat slice, along with a roast beef sandwich and 3 garlic knots. Now it's time to try this Italian food. We're gonna kick things off with the garlic knots. Pretty standard offering at most pizza joints like this. We'll give it a dip into the marinara sauce. Let's see how it is. Oh yeah, it's pretty good. Solid garlic knots at Buddy V's. Nice Maillard reaction on the outside of this bread. A good toasty texture to it as well, although very soft and fluffy on the inside. There's a bit of a sour tinge to this bread. They've allowed the dough to ferment and develop, giving some nice flavors here. I like that. A lot of garlic butter applied, delivering a very nice pungent flavor, with just a little bit of Parmesan mixed in as well, delivering some salinity. I like that. It's a pretty straightforward and standard garlic knot recipe, but it has been executed well. I think the sauce here is pretty decent. It is a little bit on the watery side. I wouldn't mind if it was a little bit thicker, maybe cooked down a couple more hours, but flavors-wise, it is quite good. You do get the sweetness of the tomato, but it has been made into a relatively savory sauce with some good seasoning and spices. Personally, I just wish it was a little bit thicker, but overall, this is a nice dipping sauce. Some good garlic knots, that's a solid start to Buddy V's. Next up, the Boss Pizza. This is the Meat Lover's Pizza at Buddy V's, and I've split it in half here to enjoy with my buddy. Although I will say personally, I'm not enjoying the flop here. Let's see how it is. Not bad. A decent pizza slice, although there's a couple of things I would definitely be improving myself. Starting with the crust. While it does actually have a pretty decent flavor, similar to the garlic knots, I'm pretty sure this is using the same dough. The yeast has been given time to develop and ferment, so I do like the taste. Personally, I wouldn't mind if this crust had a little bit more time in the oven. A little bit of additional crisp would have been really nice here. Given how floppy the pizza was, I wouldn't mind some additional structure, as well as a hint of a smoky flavor. I will say the cheese at Buddy V's is actually quite good. A good, rich, melty cheese, delivering a nice salinity. I will say the cheese on the pizza is quite nice. The meats here are pretty solid. The pepperoni has a little bit of a spice to it, as well as a nice salty flavor. These cup sausages have a fair amount of fennel and oregano, delivering some nice accent flavors as well, and a nice smoky salinity coming from some bacon. I would say all in all together, it does make for quite a salty bite, so you might want to have your beverage ready, but the quality of the meats here is pretty decent. Although I don't typically mention price too often on the channel, I do think at $12 you can definitely find a better slice of pizza on the strip. Alright everyone, now the last bite I'm trying from Buddy V's Pizzeria is going to be their roast beef and mozzarella sandwich. Now this does come with what looks like a jus. I'm going to give it a dip here, and let's see how this tastes. Oh yeah, that's good. This is quite a tasty sandwich. Starting with the ciabatta bread, very nicely toasted. There's a bit of a crunch to the exterior and a slightly dense and chewy center. A slightly sour, earthy flavor to this ciabatta as well. I do like the bread. The roast beef here is actually very good. It's tender, it's been well seasoned, and you can actually taste hints of rosemary in that beef as well. The mozzarella here is actually very good. It's very creamy, a mild richness from it. Its creaminess delivers a nice extra dimension to the sandwich. The jus here is actually really flavorful. While I mentioned the rosemary flavor in the beef was quite poignant, it's very forward-facing in the jus. You can tell that these were made from the drippings of the beef, and they complement each other very nicely. This is supposed to come with sweet or hot peppers, and I ordered sweet peppers, however, it doesn't look like they're actually in the sandwich. Though I do think some sweet peppers could have added some nice accent flavors, this is still working pretty fine on its own, especially with the super flavorful jus. Was not expecting the sandwich to be that flavorful. I like that one. Alright everyone, so that's everything I'm going to be showing you from Buddy B's Pizzeria. I'm going to go ahead and take a few more bites and box this all up to go because I've got to get to my day job and so does my bud. I'm going to return tomorrow to show you the last two restaurants. Don't go in, I'll be right back. Alright my friends, I have come back and returned to the Celebrity Food Hall here at Caesar's Palace to show you the last two restaurants. The first off is going to be Tortazo. Tortazo is a Mexican street restaurant from Chef Rick Bailey's. Looks like they're serving up tacos and sandwiches and all sorts of different snacks. Looks like everything is coming in close to that $20 price point. And I ordered their carne asada tacos as well as a torta cubana and some tortilla soup. This is all looking pretty tasty. Let's give it a try. First dish to try is a carne asada taco. You get 3 carne asada tacos to an order, and they're served alongside a red and green sauce. I think I want to try the taco straight up first though. Let's see how it is. Oh yeah, that's good. This is a pretty tasty taco. I like all of the elements here. Starting with the corn tortilla. This is a little bit more dense than I was expecting, but it is nice and pliable, and it certainly does have a nice corn flavor to it. A good chew to the tortilla as well. It doesn't taste store-bought, but if it is, I would certainly like to know the brand. The carne asada inside is actually really good. Very tender, and it's relatively juicy too. It's been very well seasoned, although I would say quite on the spicy side. I definitely wouldn't say you need to add any salsa to this. It certainly has a very enjoyable kick on its own. The pico de gallo does provide some freshness, and it all does come together well. That's a pretty good carne asada taco right there. Next up, we'll go in on the torta cubana. A good looking sandwich. I like the look of the bread, but does it taste as good as it looks? Let's find out. Let's give it a shot. Oh yeah, that's really good. Now this is a very tasty sandwich. Starting with the bread, I wouldn't say this is your standard Cuban loaf. It actually tastes much more like an Italian loaf, but it's been well toasted, a wonderful texture to it, a little bit more crusty on the outside with a nice airy center. I do like the bread in general. The mojo pork is really tasty. It's very tender, very juicy, wonderfully savory. It's been seasoned incredibly well. A nice smoky flavor to it, but not overbearing. I actually really like the mojo pork in the sandwich. There's a chipotle pepper-based sauce, and it's delivering a really nice smoky heat. It's actually a really delicious accent flavor that permeates throughout the entire bite. That roasted chipotle pepper flavor is really poignant and really very nice here. You do have a white cheese providing a nice richness, as well as a melty creaminess, and some pickled onions provide a nice tang that helps cut through a lot of the richness in this bite. There's also some bacon here providing some salinity. However, I do think it's a little bit overkill. It's certainly not bad. I like my bacon, but I don't know if it actually adds that much more. The pork already has a very nice seasoning to it, and the cheese already provides a salinity, and you're already getting a smokiness from that chipotle pepper sauce. All said though, this is actually coming together very well. A very tasty sandwich. I like that one. Alright my friends, now the last bite to try from Tortazo tonight is going to be their chicken tortilla soup. The chicken tortilla soup is smartly served separately between the ingredients inside the soup as well as the soup itself, allowing you to pour when you're ready to eat, and making sure that the ingredients stay crispy and fresh and not too soggy. I've got a nice spoonful here. Let's give it a try. Oh yeah, that's good. I'm very much enjoying this soup. Starting with the broth, it has such a wonderful flavor. It might be a tad on the salty side, but the smoked chili flavor in this broth is really delicious. I wouldn't say it's spicy, but certainly savory, and there's a slight tang to it, ever so slightly sweet as well, but it's really the depth of flavor on those roasted chilies that's making for a fantastic spoonful. These look to be tortilla strips made in-house from the same tortillas that we saw earlier in the tacos. They do have a nice corn flavor and still very satisfyingly crispy as I'm biting into them. Definitely appreciating the tortilla strips here. Nice chunks of avocado provide some creamy richness, as does some cotija cheese. A wonderful freshness coming from the cilantro, and I think I'm starting to realize that there's bits of caramelized onions in this, and that's what was delivering a bit of that tangy caramelized sweetness from earlier. All of this is very enjoyable. A good chicken tortilla soup, I like that one. All right, my friends, so that's everything from Tortazo tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and we're gonna do our last restaurant here, and that's gonna be Chef Esther Choi's Mukbar. Don't go, I'll be right back. And welcome back, my friends. Now it's time to show you the last eatery that's a part of the Celebrity Food Hall here at Caesar's Palace, and that's going to be Mukbar by Chef Esther Choi. Mukbar is serving up Korean food, but also serving up other Asian fare like Japanese ramen as well as Chinese bao buns. And to show you all today, I decided to get a bulgogi bowl as well as some classic ramen, their K-pop chicken with sweet soy glaze, as well as some pan-fried vegan dumplings. This is looking pretty tasty. Let's give it a try. I'm going to kick off things here at Mukbar with their ramen. Not a Korean option, but I do always appreciate a good ramen. And this is an interesting looking ramen, not a chashu pork ramen, but I've got a nice amount here in my chopsticks. Let's give it a taste. Oh yeah, it's pretty good. A pretty decent ramen from Mukbar. Starting with the broth, a little bit on the thinner side, not super viscous, but it does have a nice savory flavor. It's well seasoned, a little bit on the spicy side, just a little bit of kick. In general, a decent ramen broth, although I think personally I wouldn't mind a little bit of additional richness. The ramen noodles are actually quite nice, a good firm chew to them, and you can get that wheat flavor that you're expecting from ramen. That is nice. The spinach did taste good here. I do like that bitter, iron-like flavor that was coming through, and a little bit of earthiness coming from those bean sprouts. In general, those standard elements of the ramen are coming together fine. I think the pork is kind of what's throwing me off here. It's not exactly a chashu pork. It's certainly much more meaty and less fatty than a chashu pork would be. And while I can appreciate the nice meaty pork flavor, it was a little bit too smoky for me. Maybe because I'm expecting something a little bit more standard like a chashu pork. Not that it's bad, just not exactly what I was expecting. All in all, though, a pretty decent ramen. Especially considering that it's a food hall ramen, I think this is actually pretty solid. Next up, their K-pop chicken. You're able to get this in both spicy as well as a sweet soy glaze. I went with a sweet soy glaze today, and I've got a nice little drumstick here. Let's see how it is. Oh yeah, it's pretty good. A tasty chicken wing. While I personally wish there was a little bit more crisp to the skin, the meat inside is super soft and very juicy. You can actually see all of that fat glistening in the light. No dry chicken meat here. It does make for a satisfying bite. I do think the soy glaze is a bit on the salty side, while it does have some nice umami and a decent amount of sweetness as well. Unfortunately, especially in the aftertaste, the salinity levels are quite high here. You might want to prepare a beverage if you're going to go in heavily on these. If that was a little bit less salty and that skin was a lot more crispy, I think I'd like these a lot more. Next up, the pan-fried vegan dumplings. Served with some kind of a sauce. We'll give it a little bit of a dip here. And another vegan option for you all. Let's see how this one is. Yeah, not bad. Some interesting dumplings. I don't know if I've seen them in this particular form factor before, but I suppose the shape doesn't matter all too much. It's still eaten more or less like a dumpling. I do like the skin. It's quite glutinous, slightly chewy with a nice pan fry on the outside, giving a little bit of a crispiness. A nice neutral flavor from it as well. In general, I actually do like the wonton wrapper. The filling I'd say is okay. It's effectively a rice noodle filling, and I guess my particular issue is that the rice noodle makes up so much of the filling. The dumpling wrapper as well as the noodles inside share both a similar texture as well as a flavor, so I wish there was a little bit more variation there. There's a nice pungent flavor coming from some mustard greens, as well as a little bit of bite coming from some green onion. It has been seasoned well, it's certainly not bland, but personally I just wish these rice noodles inside were some other vegetable. It's served alongside a very simple dipping sauce. I believe it's soy, mirin with a little bit of chili flake, and some chili oil. It does taste good, and it goes very well with these dumplings. All in all, I wouldn't say this is bad, but personally I don't know if this particular recipe is for me. All right, my friends, so the last bite I'm trying here from the Celebrity Food Hall at Caesar's Palace is going to be the bulgogi beef bowl. I've got a solid mix of everything on the spoon here, and this is effectively my heritage on a spoon. Let's see how it tastes. Oh yeah, that's good. All the right flavors are certainly coming together in this bulgogi beef bowl. Starting with the bulgogi itself, a nice soft and tender beef, relatively juicy also, and it's been marinated with all the classic flavors that you're expecting. Some good umami, as well as some sweetness from sugar. It's quite garlicky. I like the flavors of the bulgogi here. The rice is nice, a good neutral flavor with a bouncy chew, and working as a solid neutral base for the rest of this dish. I love the strips of kimchi in this. Not only does the cabbage provide a bit of crunch, but that garlicky spice, along with that fermented tang, is providing such a nice depth of flavor. I'm really liking that. Spicy pickled cucumbers are also delivering a nice bit of freshness as well as some kick, and some slightly caramelized onions provide a nutty sweetness. This is all coming together very well. I'm not sure if it's just because of my Korean heritage, but I'm certainly enjoying this one a lot. Alright everyone, now that's going to do it for my video here at the Celebrity Food Hall of Caesar's Palace. 5 distinct eateries, all with very different styles servicing the space. And as the cheapest eats option available at Caesar's Palace, this particular food hall certainly does have its busy times. It also seems to be open late, closing at midnight most nights. And I'm particularly impressed with the fact that you can get Korean food as well as some elevated Mexican food here in the food hall. If you're staying at Caesar's Palace or you've been interested in the Celebrity Food Hall here, I hope this video has been informative for you. Alright my friends, now that's going to do it for this week's video, where I continue my quest to vlog every restaurant on the Las Vegas Strip as well as downtown on Fremont Street. Make sure you return next Saturday. I would love to have you as I continue to add to my collection. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a fantastic week, and I hope you enjoy Vegas with me, Shin. Bye.